healing a critical wound in a field hospital with trained assistants. So you got a +10 modifier. So you need to diagnose him first. So yeah, go ahead and do a diagnostic scan. I think the diagnostic gives you a +20 as well. So it's like +30 overall to find out what ribs exactly. As like Angel cuts away his fatigues and everything else, and you can see like huge bruising along his ribs. Wow, okay. So you know exactly where like the micro fractures inside his ribs are, and that he has. You think he may have a punctured lung, but you're not quite sure. Well, actually, you are. You know he has like punctured lung.
Yeah, with a 1, he sees the future.
You know exactly where his punctured lung is as well. So because you've diagnosed it correctly, it's a +20. And then the +10. Yeah, so it's like a +40 to try and heal all this, so shouldn't be particularly hard right now. If you were in the heat of combat.
+50, right? Because I've got a med kit, which is 20.
I was in
20 from that,
yeah.
and 10 from her.
Yeah, oh yeah. Did you take the skill for her to be your medical auxilia?
Oh, I thought you said because I'm in a field.
Yeah, you're in a. Yeah, you are. That's already. But there's another like skill that adds to it as well.
Oh no, I haven't got that.
Yeah, so it's just +50 then. Okay, so you guys watch for a bit. While like the surgery goes on for like an hour or two as he performs basically like the best surgery he can under the conditions he has, which isn't bad because you guys have a pretty decent kit, and you manage to, fix Crater up, but he's a little worse for wear. And he comes off with a lot of bandages, false flesh, sutures, and a bunch of other things, but you've corrected everything. The most detailed surgery was extracting, his rib from his lung and, fixing that up. But you have a pretty well-stocked medical box, or at least you did. It's wasted it some bit, but now he is all right again. So after a while, he, hobbles up. Well, he's still unconscious. So Vox just comes up to you, Boomer, and looks back at you, Piker, and says, "Here, help me with him back to his bed, guys." Like asks you to help carry him. So you can actually move him because he's your companion. So, as in Bermuda, you can move him.
She's just away making popcorn a second.
Oh right, yeah. Never mind. So. Move him back to his bed, which is over here, and he seems to be out for the count, but otherwise alive. So, good job, Mr. Locke.
Right. So, do I get a small piece of bone chip that I removed from his lung? Can I like make that into a necklace and slowly put pieces on the necklace?
If you want to, you morbid fuck.
That's what I'm starting to do, I think. So.
All right. By the end of this campaign, you'll probably have someone's eye in their left hand on that thing.
An arm just hanging from there.
Or
a charm bracelet?
One might say a tongue of a certain ogre. So, Easy, Angel, and Sentinel all volunteer to clean up the blood so that no one is any the wiser. And you guys, Sentinel comes up to you and suggests that Crater should be out of commission for a while, but he should be back to decent fighting strength before you guys get to wherever the hell it is you're going. But until then, you need to hide him from, the commissars or the enforcement corps, because if they find him, as I said, questions will be asked.
Sentinel, I hope you recognize those fellows with their las weapons, and will report to the proper authorities that they had unauthorized arms.
So Sentinel just looks up at you and says, "I would do, but that yet again may ask questions, and I'm not sure if that would work out better in our way." After all, he turns to Vox and Piker and says, "It was these fools that got themselves into this mess in the first place. It could have easily have been anyone else on that floor, like of you or Piker or you, Vox." And he sort of looks at you with scorn and says, and turns back to you, Thermite, and says, "Sergeant, these men need to be punished."
Yes, they do. Time to smoke them.
No bananas for a week.
No.
So what's their punishment, Sergeant?
I'm going to take them to the training grounds
Bring the lube.
It's going to be dry, baby. You're gonna cry.
All right. So for the next week or whatever, you run Piker and Voxbox to death with training exercises. Yeah.
Oh yeah, until they are exhausted.
So Piker, I presume you hate that more than anyone because you're
It's
lazy.
the worst week of his life. Even
He's
worse
going-
than when he got thrown out from home.
It's going into exhaustion until they pass out from exhaustion. Then give them a little break for them to come back and run them again.
So the week passes with you guys being run to oblivion with exhaustion, and Crater, wakes up the next day, but he's pretty sore for the next week or so. Then the week passes into 2 weeks, and you've been over a month in the warp now, which is far longer than it takes to get to Hasdapur from Thermos. So it seems that Sergeant Ellis's information to you was indeed correct, and it seems you're being deployed. And to that extent, the next time you have a staff meeting with Captain Rankar, Thermite, he confirms as such and tells you that indeed you have been opted for deployment immediately. It seems that Lord Commander Aurelian was anxious to get the crusade on foot and believed that the vast majority of the assembled regiments would be adequate to begin the assault. And he has decided that the first thrust of the sword of the Emperor will be against the Caradian cluster and the worlds of the secessionists that reside there. So you've been told a little bit about them, Thermite and Kay.
Mm-hmm.
They're called, the particular group of traders you're going against is called the Halion Hegemony, all right? And they are a series of noble houses from the world of Halion that have basically taken over a number of the star clusters and systems around their hive planet, if you know what I mean, in the last few centuries. Until recently, they were believed to be, devout followers of the Emperor, but it seems that the lords of Halion have decided that they will no longer pay the imperial tithe, and that they will instead use that to defend themselves from the chaos elements and the orcs that dominate the sanctum segmentum, and as such they have essentially seceded from the Imperium, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been decided by Lord Commander Aurelian that they will pay the first toll of blood in the reconquest of the sanctum sector for their traitorism, and from their worlds will be a strong point with which to attack the rest of the sanctum sector. So you guys are headed to a rather desolate, well not desolate, a rather vibrant in fact, jungle world called Trion at the edge of the Halion Hegemony worlds in the Corian cluster. And it's a border world, to say the best, but it is one of strategic value. Several other, at least a dozen other worlds are going to be struck by different task forces of the Aurelian Crusade at the same time. But you guys have been tasked with going to that one. You're going to group up with another 4 or 5 task force with like several other regiments and begin the assault of Trion. All right. So you now know which world you're going to fight on for the first time.
Yep.
And, according to Captain Rankar, it seems that the man you've only seen once at gathering, Colonel Garrett, this man here who commands your regiment. So far as Rankar can discern, it seems that Colonel Garrett has been given the distinction, he says, with long drawn out words that he doesn't really think it as a distinction, that it seems the Thermian tent may be one of the spearhead for the assault on Trion, so you will be amongst the first wave, he believes.
We'll do our best, sir.
So after the staff meeting ends, he just nods at you all and says, I know you will. I've trained you well. You are prepared for this. And then he says, I believe we will enter the Trion system within the following week. Prepare your men for what comes ahead. You may believe you've tasted war, but what comes next will leave you all with a stranger taste still. And he just sort of looks at you bitterly and says, prepare for something beyond horror. When you see your friends dying in the crater beside you, you'll know what I mean. And he just sort of looks at you blankly and then salutes and says dismissed.
I salute him back and walk out the room.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Crater beside me.
It was just for the sergeants who weren't there. But yeah, you get the idea.
Oh.
So I presume you tell them where you're going and who you're fighting, yeah?
Yep. Appears that the rumors are true, man. We're fighting secessionists.
And the world is called this, if you want to note it down.
Trion.
Trion Worlds.
Yeah.
And the group of secessionists you're fighting is called that, okay? Alright, so you guys are headed to this world, about a little over a week still through the warp. The Sword of Mordia, along with the rest of its escort squadron, finally break out of the Imperium at the edge of basically a ringed system full of what appears to be ice asteroids and 3 planets, only one of which seems to be a world that is habitable for human life without extreme terraforming or conditions like thermos. And you know, from the observation ports and like the scuttlebutt around the ship and what you get from like the other ratings and like Navy officers you can convince to talk, it seems that like 6 other Imperial squadrons and their regiments are preparing to assault the world. There's at least 12 other regiments coming in to support you in this, but from what you've been told, the Thermian tent will be among one of the first to make planetfall. Alright?
Did we get any information on the planet, like day-night cycle?
It has a 36-hour day-night cycle, which is evenly distributed between both of them, okay? So, like, it's literally 13 hours bright, 13 hours dark, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's 26 hours.
Yeah, sorry, you're right, yeah, 36. It's half of 36. Which is 18, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it's 18 daylight hours, 18, dark side hours. So as you guys approach it, like, you're briefed more upon what your assault is going to be, Sergeant Fit, okay? So in another meeting with Rankar, he informs you that you and the rest of the Grenadier Guards are going to be supported by some infantry from other regiments, including the Thermian tent, and are going to assault the capital city of Trion, which is called Gabesa, alright?
Uh-huh.
Good day, sir.
Gabesa, not good day, sir. It's that, alright. So you're going to assault it, and it's located in the heart of a mountain range just beyond a tropical jungle, if you know what I mean. So basically, the idea is that the regimental commanders, including Colonel Garrett, have decided that to take this world, the best idea would be to strike straight at the heart of the enemy, if you know what I mean, and rip it out to remove all defenses. So, to that regard, they decided to go for a deployment right on top of the enemy capital city, right? As well as other numerous important military installations and things like that. But your particular squad, as in 2nd Company and 3rd Company, are going to deploy to support the line infantry attacking the city, okay? And this is what you know about this. So as the day goes on, and you go over structural plans and what you're supposed to assault and things like that, obviously the situation is going to develop as you go along, but you're all given key objectives that you need to assault. For you, your objective is to reach the old Administratum building at the heart of Gabesa, okay? If you want to remember that. Okay?
Writing it down.
Yeah. It used to be the heart of Imperial rule in the capital, but now it's basically the heart of the Halion Hegemony's, corrupt rule over the planet. So you need to retake the Administratum building, the main Administratum office at the center of the capital. This is a very small border world. There's less than a couple, there's maybe 100 million, a bit bigger than Thermos, if you know what I mean. But the planet has much better conditions. However, it is extremely strategic, as it's like the gateway into their little breakaway empire, if you know what I mean. So it's supposedly going to be quite well defended, if you know what I mean. According to what you know, there's already been a Imperial naval battle against the rebel fleet in the system, and they managed to drive them off, and a number of squadrons chased after them and they're fighting them at the edge of the system. But this has given enough time for the transport fleets to basically break away and drop Imperial troops. So you guys are going to be a part of that. All right. So let me just find what I was going to look for. There we are. Okay, so as you guys are getting ready, the day comes when you guys are finally going to be dropped into combat, and you guys are told to assemble in your dropship. You're all going to be sent down in squad bases among large lighter craft, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what your dropship looks like. Okay. So you guys are all inside and buckled up, and the Imperial naval pilot, comes up to you and says, "We're just waiting for the commanding officer to arrive, and then we'll get underway. You and your men should get secure and make sure anything they need is met. Once we get down, we expect heavy enemy resistance fire." And she just sort of looks over you and says, "I need to get back to checking the details. Look to your men, please."
Very well.
All right.
So yeah, I'm make around, make sure everyone is secure in their seats,
Mm-hmm.
and the gear is properly stowed away. And let's see, prepare yourselves, man. This is the real fight. No more live round trainings now. This is it. This is the moment we've been training for. The moment where we bring the light of the Emperor back to these traitors.
Bring it on!
And I take my seat.
Mm-hmm. So Sentinel just sits down beside you over here. Oh, yeah. There you go. All right. And a few minutes later, the airlock door opens again, and another Imperial naval pilot comes in and just sort of says, "Sorry, I was just getting clearance for the rest of the fleet on what formation our squadron is going to take," and then he just goes in and sits himself down again and says, "We have an incoming transmission. It's supposed to be Lord Hailer," and he sort of pipes up the Lord Hailer again and says, "Oh, this is interesting." He turns back to the rest of you and says, "Sergeant, you should get your men ready to listen to this. This is coming straight from the Lord Commander himself."
Well, man, listen up. Look alive.
Shh.
So the Lord Hailer inside the ship pipes up, and you hear a bit of static for a minute, as if it's like from a long distance away, and then you hear the voice of Colonel Garrett come out and say, "Men of the tent, we have a transmission coming from the Lord Commander himself. Listen and listen well, for this is a historic day, and words must be said to such effect." And then he sort of pauses for a moment. "Remember, we do this in the name of the Emperor. Now listen with care. History is about to be made." And then the following plays. "You are about to embark upon the great invasion towards which we have striven these many years. The eyes of your homeworld and the God Emperor himself are upon you, men. The hopes and prayers of your families, faithful people everywhere, march with you in company with our brave allies and brothers in arms. On other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the heretic war machine, the elimination of heretical control over the peoples of this planet, and security for the Imperium. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well trained, well equipped, and battle hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year of our Emperor, 139 M41. Much has happened since the heretics' triumph in the Black Crusade, the 12th Gothic Crusade. The fleet and the guard have inflicted upon the heretics great defeats. In open battle, man to man, our void offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our homeworlds have given us overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned, and the men of the Imperium are marching together once again toward victory. I have full confidence in your courage and devotion to duty, and skill in battle. I will accept nothing less than total victory today. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessings of the God Emperor upon this great and noble undertaking. And with that, the Lord Hailer cuts off. So the naval pilot just sort of stares for a minute and says, "Well, you heard the man. We best get this shitstorm underway." And then he sort of starts clicking buttons, and you guys break away from the ship. And then the co-pilot starts typing with some buttons, and this hololytic screen comes up with the planet showing your drop site. And you guys start hearing micro explosions from battery fire from the planet just outside, your drop pod, basically. Well, your drop lighter. Yeah. And even looking out the few windows you guys can see, you literally see explosions every now and then.
Are there any moons?
There are no moons, Fat. So it starts to be getting quite rocky, and the lighter starts shaking and rocking every few minutes, and you can see the Imperial naval pilots are clearly doing their best to avoid enemy fire, and they're panicking every now and then. And then the man just sort of turns to her and says, "Quick! I told you, fourth quadrant, stay away from that battery fire." And then she just says, "Yes, I know." And then they just keep going on and dodging fire. Explosions are appearing literally outside the thing, and suddenly the darkness of the void just outside your viewports turns into the sheen of atmosphere and the fire of entry into the planet. And after that, it breaks away almost in an instant, and pale blue-green skies sort of extend as far as the eye can see. And you see a huge, almost primordial jungle descend all out in front of you in every direction, except to the people looking out through this view screen here. You instead see a rather sizable city of maybe a million inhabitants or so, teeming in the distance in the top of a mountain range. And you can see huge amounts of battery fire and enemy artillery, launching flak and everything else into the sky, including rocket barrages. And you're pretty sure you saw a lighter craft of the Imperial Guard explode not too far away from you, as the pilot in front of you just goes, "Shit, shit, shit," and starts trying to weave and dodge. Most of you hang really hard in your seats as he makes very quick turns to the left and right, and the sound of combat starts to increase as you can even hear artillery fire starting to sound off. Not too long after that, you guys finally manage to land on what appears to be the outskirts of the city. It looks like the Imperial Navy had already long begun to start bombardment and strafing runs with ships, as most of the city is already on fire and a large number of it is in ruins. It seems like the enemy controls the vast majority of the city, though, and you guys are landing on what appears to be the outskirts. All right. So you guys can all see yourselves, yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So as you land, the lighter craft drops you off rather quickly, and the assault deck opens up. You guys unstrap your harnesses and charge out as quickly as possible. And as soon as you're gone, the lighter immediately begins to ascend and tries to take off. Not long after it takes off, you see it screen through the sky, and what appears to be a blazing trail of almost hellfire follows it behind, but you're pretty sure it's a missile. And a few seconds later, it hits the lighter craft, and it just turns into a steaming pile of scrap in the middle of the sky, and then comes crashing down a few clicks north of you. There's no way anyone survived that.
They'll be all right.
So all around you, the distant firefight that what it was is no longer too distant, and you can hear the sounds of autoguns, las fire, and everything broiling all around you. So, this is where things become completely your choice. What do you want to do with your squad, Sergeant Fit? Your objective is to the south of where you are right now. And you have no idea where the enemy is, but you can hear gunfire all around you.
Yep. Form a perimeter and just let's fucking go. Weapons at
North.
the ready. Fat, take point.
Order.
I'm going to move your comrades as well. because you guys control them. They need to be within like 5 meters of you to be in cohesion or whatever.
Stick to cover. Ooh, is this a sewer entrance?
Where?
Here.
It could be.
Let's check that out because
Where
we
are we
deal
going?
better underground. We work better underground. So.
Oh, you all have your goggles.
Fat.
So.
Still, navigation and stuff, perceptions, they're better
fit.
underground. Come over. Come on. And I try to open this.
So there's definitely a manhole. It's made of a heavy brass covering, and it's extremely heavy.
Yeah, I start pulling on it and ask Fat to help me out.
Alright.
So Fat, go ahead and make a strength test.
Does he get a bonus for me helping?
If you assist him, sure.
Yeah,
And succeed.
I'm assisting. Yes.
Yeah, roll
So,
strength first.
The way assistant works is he gets a +10.
Oh, he just gets it straight up. Alright.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
like
Sorry.
up to 2 people can assist depending on the
It's stuck.
situation.
Yeah, so it looks like it's stuck, yeah.
Fifth. Okay.
Want me to blow it up?
No, let's not
Yeah,
draw too
we-
much attention to
We
ourselves.
should blow it up.
Don't you have like unnatural strength? Or
It
Right.
only applies if he succeeds.
My strength is
Okay.
very unnatural.
It's natural to you.
Oh, man.
Just keep going.
Is this map lagging a bit, or is it just me?
yeah.
No, it's fine, I think.
I'm fine.
Oh, which way are we going?
Your objective is south somewhere, that's all you know. Near the center of the city.
So keep going, Fat.
South note. Which one of my arms is my south arm?
The side of you where your dick is.
Does Fat just like have a compass tattooed on his arm and just constantly twirls around?
Just keep going that way.
Alright.
Yeah, so you're going into what appears to be like an old cathedral of some kind, possibly to the God Emperor, or maybe whatever foul entities, if any, of these secessionists have decided to join with. But it seems to be coming out into a main thoroughfare ahead of you, and you can hear a lot of heavy combat ahead.
Where from?
The south, like down here. Like, the combat is broiling this way. You were dropped right at the edge of the front line, if you know what I mean, and the Imperial Army seems to be sweeping from the north into the south, if you know what I mean, where the central capital of the, Gabesa is. So, and your objective is to try and take the old Administratum building that was at the heart of the, city center.
Yeah. Let me check this.
I'm gonna find like a window or a doorway. I'm gonna stick my head out and see what I can see.
There's a broken, shattered, like stained glass window in front of you. You can have a look at if you want.
Yeah,
Do you have unnatural
let's have a
sight?
look.
No,
He's not looking enough to have unnatural sight.
it's a little bit dark in here.
Unnatural scent.
All right, so when
Take
you
a
peek out, this is what you see. All right, this might take a bit to load for some people. Okay, you guys are over
This
here.
map is huge.
Do you see where I pinged?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You guys
still
are at the-
loading.
You guys are at the edge of this building here, and like you see the street out here. And even though you don't see anyone particularly right now, it looks like, a war quite literally went through here quite recently. And you hear like sporadic shots of gunfire off in the distance. But you do know that your objective is this building over here. Do you see it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Still loading.
All right. And there's a few very large anti-aircraft guns that seem to have been abandoned. It looks like another squad or the Imperial Navy managed to do a strafing run through here and scattered the gun crews, if you know what I mean. But even though there's gunfire all around you in the other quadrants and quarters of the city, this area seems to be eerily abandoned, like almost too much so, if you know what I mean.
They're hiding.
Keep your wits about
Looks
you.
like an ambush.
If we try and rush to the south of the map and move our way across the bottom of the south.
I'll put you guys where you are, actually, because you're in that building. That's all of you there, right?
If we'd be able to go like here and then
Yeah,
move.
so you're in that, like, on the other map, you're in that, like, sort of Gothic building, so...
I don't see my token.
I may have placed this before you made your token, or I could make your token, but let me go get your guy. Because you were the last one to make your token.
Oh, so here's the building. Okay, sorry. I see it now.
Paste, hopefully you're not huge. Nice. There you are. Feel free to gather your various companions up, because they need to be close to you.
We're touching.
So this street is, like I said, even though there's like combat all around you and you can literally hear artillery fire and Imperial naval like strafing runs from Fury gunships and things like that, or Valkyries, there's no combat in this immediate area. It looks like, there's explosions and craters and fires, and most of the buildings have been decimated, but there doesn't seem to be any resistance around here, and but there's a lot of open space, let's put it that way, if you know what I mean.
Perfect for snipers, maybe.
Perfect for snipers, yes. I'm gonna roll awareness.
Okay, so this place is like littered with, gunfire and, craters where bullet impacts or even like massive explosions occurred. And it looks like maybe one of the line infantry groups recently swept through here, or simply the the Imperial Navy drew off whoever the gunners were for these giant anti-aircraft guns. You can see them, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, you don't notice anything that's really out of the way. There's nothing like you notice in the immediate vicinity around you. Bear in mind, this is a huge map, so.
I say we. There seems to be more debris across the bottom of the map. Maybe we can go there first and just go directly south and then west from there.
Yeah.
So who wants to be the brave person to make the first run?
Fuck it, I'll take point. As
Who
the glorious leader
who wants
that
to
I
be
am.
that guy in Private? He wants to be Vin Diesel on Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. As the glorious leader, I'll take point.
But
Do
then
you have
there's
a note for your father you want to give us before you go up there?
What, sorry?
Because Vin Diesel gave the dude his note when he was dying.
A note
I don't
to
have
your
a note.
daddy.
I don't have a note.
Did you ever see the film Enemy at the Gates? The person that run first initially was good, unless it's against a really amazing sniper that's able to shoot the first person that jumps.
Yeah.
Let me see how much I can move.
So the sergeant, Sentinel just looks to you and says, "Sergeant, I don't like this. It's too obvious. There's something going on here. No resistance. We should have met at least like an enemy guardsman regiment by now.
Yes.
No weapons fire and nothing. This place is a ghost town."
So, damn shame we don't have smoke grenades. Because that building, the Administratum building, looks like a perfect sniper's nest.
He nods and says, if you want, Sarah, I can make a run for it first. I don't mind.
Huh. Have you killed? No way.
Well, he just
If we
shakes his head
run,
and
we
he
run
shakes his
together.
head. He just nods and shakes his head and says, if somebody has to do it, somebody has to do it, sir. We can't wait here twiddling our thumbs all day. We need to take that building. We need to figure out if there's any resistance in this area.
Then
You're the
let's run
commanding
together.
officer. We can't lose you.
Yes, you can. Let's go.
So he just sort of sighs and just sort of nods and then looks back to the rest of you and says, once we get across, form up in groups and make a run for it as well. If there's a sniper, keep your heads as low as possible and just keep running, okay? Make your body vertical if you have to. Just get the hell out of there. Smallest target possible. And then he just sort of looks back at you and sort of nods grimly. Right.
If instead of running, if we get on the floor and roll on our bellies, with our heads pointing down the.
That's not how
to the west.
snipers work.
They will get a penalty to shoot, but we also get a penalty to dodge.
We're rolling.
So yeah, I can move to basically the middle of the road in one turn.
Okay.
So yeah, we grab each other and just.
Okay, well, actually, you're within 5, so it doesn't matter. Okay. And this guy will be aiming. Okay, so a shot goes off and rings through the area. From what you can guess, is probably a high caliber impact rifle of some kind, not a long las, like an actual bullet, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it rings off and it rolls a double, so it's going for
motherfucker.
It's going for Sentinel. So you hear the ring of the bullet, so you can try to dodge.
Yeah, I don't have it trained, but I'll still do it.
Okay, so as you're running, you hear the ring of the bullet. You don't see where it came from, but it impacts just where's 55?
Body.
Yeah, so it impacts Corporal Werner, let's say, in the left shoulder in his body, and he goes like twirling around for a minute, then picks himself up the ground and then looks to you, gritting through the street, and says, "It's nothing. Keep going."
Can we keep running? Or...
Yeah, you can, but how long does it take you to run? Like one more movement, yeah?
One more and I'll be there.
Yeah, he's going to get another shot off on you.
Okay.
And this time he misses. And another, high impacted bullet hole appears, on the ground here as you're running, if you know what I mean. And then you guys dive behind the sandbags, yeah? So, yeah, Sentinel is bleeding pretty badly out of his shoulder. Okay.
I can make the next run so I can
Good.
start working on him if anyone wants.
It's going to take a while for him to recover.
Can we roll awareness to discern where it came from?
You can if someone runs and you all look around trying to find out where the shooter is, if you know what I mean. Because none of you were watching for that, or at least you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
We all run at the same time.
You could do that, yeah.
Let's go.
And as soon as you say that, Brett jumps over and starts running.
Okay, well, it looks like we're running as well then.
You can only run your max movement, so calculate that from here. All right.
It's the run, right?
Yeah.
Which is 6 times the base. Yeah, so I can actually go farther and go there.
18.
Yeah, 18 for me as well.
Damn, you're fast.
Run should be 18
I'm
as well.
hulking, so I get a +1 to my base movement. Although
his
Easy's
steps-
probably not as fast as me.
He's
You can
as
just
fast
pick
as
him
you.
up. Yeah, he's always as fast as you.
Okay.
Companions are always as fast as
He's
they-
always as fast as you. They spend a half action to keep up with you. Always.
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 targets, so let's see who the lucky one that gets the shot is. It's Fet.
Oh, right.
And you're hulking, right? So you're a bigger target. Yeah. So he hits, and he doesn't roll double, so he hits you, Fat. You can try and dodge, or just tank it.
No, that's okay.
Alright, so a high caliber round goes slamming into you. Let's see how much damage it does. Let me look up the weapon he's using. There we are. Okay, so projectile weapon, sniper rifle. It does 1d10 plus 4 and has pen 3. Ooh. So 14 damage, pen 3. And it hit you in the 12, which is an arm, I'm pretty sure.
So 4 points of damage.
Alright. So,
Damn.
Fet's like slightly exposed shoulder, according to his art there, gets like a very deep gash as like part of his arm explodes a bit. Alright, so you guys keep running again. Run as fast as you can.
It's
If any of you
nothing.
make it to the... Yeah. Did you want to make an awareness, Hariel, to see if you saw where the
Already
shooter
did.
came from? Alright. Oh, you
I
failed.
read,
Okay.
this turn.
Yeah.
If I can do for every turn, that would be good.
Yeah, you
Cool.
can do it for every turn, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there's only 2 people that haven't made it over yet. And it's going for you, Phil.
Okay, I can dodge. I got it trained.
Well, I'll see if he hits you first. Yes, he does hit you. He doesn't hit Angel, he hits you. So try and dodge.
But can he dodge because I'm running? Mm,
He already has negative penalties from your running.
okay.
He's got the minus 20, remember? Ooh, well, you get hit then. 13 damage, pen 3. And he hit you in the arm again.
Well, arms 5 armor, toughness 30.
So that's 8 minus 3, so 5 from that is 8 damage. Yeah, you take 8 damage. Okay, so like as you're running again, another like high impact shot comes out and just absolutely rakes Locke in the shoulder, and he goes spinning. An angel grabs you and picks you up and drags you into what's left of the cover. All right. So can you run the rest of the way, Bermuda? Yeah.
I got a 0
Yeah,
on
I could make
my
it the rest of the
perception.
way.
Okay, so he won't get another shot off on you, so you can make it the rest of the way. And you got a 0, so you know where he's shooting from, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So the shooter, the flash, came from this building over here. You guys can see it? Yeah?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It came from like almost the top of that shattered building over there.
Put a mortar into that.
You probably could.
Boomer. Get the mortar ready.
Mm-hmm. Just let me get this set up here. Crater,
Pound that
be a
traitor
deer.
into the dirt.
So you and Crater set up the heavy mortar, you take it off Fet's back.
I forgot I had it.
Um,
So it depends it's an indirect, isn't it? Yeah. So we
It's-
can look at
yeah.
indirect and everything.
And you said she has frag rounds, right?
mhm. I have 1 crack, but I have 6 frag.
You have rounds.
Yeah,
Rounds
they're
are
different.
Really?
Yeah.
The grenades, yeah. So you
You
just
have
have
grenades,
like one.
missiles, and rounds.
So for any weapon, you start with 2 clips automatically if it's default to you. So she'd have two full like rounds. So it's like 5, I think. Well, how much is in the clip? Or
5.
like how many can hold? Yeah, so you have 10 like mortar shells.
Oh,
Okay.
generic mortar shells.
Yeah. Well, they're frag mortar shells. So.
Okay.
Mortars and similar launcher weapons are often fired in a suppression mode where the actual enemy cannot be seen and only their rough location is known. In these cases, mortar shells and the like can be fired without any actual line of sight required, Often such weapons are fired in conjunction with a spotter who directs fire from the weapon. Any ally with an auspex or who can see the target can assist with indirect fire. When making any ranged attack action, standard attack, semi-auto burst, or full auto burst with an indirect weapon, the attack does not have a target location line of sight of the active player, but is made at a -10 penalty and requires a full action instead of a normal half action. The active target, however, must be aware of his intended target, either by using the target's last known position, which you guys do have, through the use of a spotter or through other means. Okay. So, roll ballistics at a -10, and if you full auto it, it's another -10 in this game, right?
Yep. What's the range, though? Because that influences as well.
It's like 50 to like 500
To
meters.
200.
Or 200, yeah.
The range on your mortar is 200?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
no
you're about
bonuses.
180 away. So.
No bonuses. Yeah. Fuck it. I'll try to roll command. See if it helps. Blast that traitor into dirt. Boom, +10.
Alright,
So I get a +10.
It's just flat then.
Yeah.
Unless you full auto. Do you want to full auto it?
No, just single shot.
Alright.
Maybe aim for a full round as well?
I don't think
Before
aiming
shooting?
helps.
No, aiming doesn't work with indirect fire. No.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Bah.
Okay, so it goes
It's
off.
good, right? Yeah.
It still hits.
Yeah?
Well, the target is 43, you rolled 46, so it's not perfect, but so let me see. For each hit with the ranged attack, roll on a scatter diagram. The hit strikes the ground at a location number away from the intended target. In a direct roll, 1d10. Okay, so you missed. So let me see. The hit. Okay. For each missed hit, roll once on the scatter diagram. The hit instead strikes the ground in a direction x d10 meters away from the intended target. X is equal to the number of parentheses of indirect fire. So it's indirect what exactly?
Indirect what?
Yeah, is it just called indirect? Like
It has inaccurate and indirect.
yeah, but there's no number beside the indirect, is there?
The indirect
I
depends on
didn't
the
write
round.
one down, but I'll look again.
Okay, because that's how far it scatters when it misses, if you know what I mean.
It has a cross next to indirect, so...
Because it depends on the round you're firing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the round of frag grenades for
Like
indirect?
3,
frag?
right?
The blast on frag rounds is 5.
Yeah, but what's the indirect on frag? Does it have an indirect or what?
Okay.
It doesn't have an indirect value. I think it equals to the blast. Question mark.
It says this where let me see. The hit instead strikes the ground in a location x d10 meters away from the intended target in the direction rolled on a scatter diagram, where x is equal to the number in parentheses beside the indirect trait. So, is it the round or the weapon? I think it's the weapon that causes indirect, right?
Some weapons have an indirect.
I know that mortar does. I think it's just indirect.
Yeah, the mortar launcher itself is indirect and inaccurate.
So it's just 1d10 meters then. So roll 1d12 and 1d10 for me, though, because that's how it scatters. Okay, so it scatters 6 o'clock, which is south, and it scatters 2 meters. So what's...
That's not too bad.
Where were you aiming on this thing here, by the way? You think...
Like, pinpoint it?
Yeah, like, Hariel, you think it was somewhere around here, but you're not exactly sure where the flash came from.
Here.
So there? Okay.
I mean, like, anyone that knows any form of tactics would know that snipers try and reposition, even if a small amount.
Yeah. So it's 2 meters out of there, and what's the blast radius of a frag round? 3?
5.
3.
5, okay.
You sure?
Yes.
For a frag grenade, it's 3, and for a frag round, it's 5.
Yeah, so you will hit him then, so roll damage.
2d10. With 3 points of penetration.
3 points of penetration, okay. And that will go through his flak vest. And then he has a toughness of 3. So that's 14 damage. So you're not sure if you killed him or not, but well, you're not sure if you even hit him, but like, you actually hit him. Alright, so you just know that building up there like explodes with like a frag round and like it's now smoking, if you know what I mean.
And it's a very satisfying explosion.
Yeah. So you're not sure if the guy's dead or not, but you definitely hit that building. You know, some of it crumbles away and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So what do you want to do now? Do you want to risk running or do you want to go south through the rubble? Your choice, Sergeant Fit.
Put another one.
Another round.
Yes.
He's not convinced you killed him.
I want to hear him scream.
Should I aim for the same place, or...
Oh man, can I get the Wilhelm scream?
Yes. And yes, please.
Sorry, where again? Same place.
Same place. And I was going to give you another +10. So.
Oh.
Wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So you miss again, so roll, 1d12, 1d10 for me. Well, you don't miss, it just scatters because it's a mortar.
And mortars are indirect too, by the way. I looked it up.
Yeah, but she has a different type of mortar. That's the standard mortar. Yeah. She has a better kind of.
It's in Hammer of the Emperor.
Yeah, so where were you firing this one at?
Same
Bermuda
place.
or Hariel? Okay, well, point it for me so I can see if you hit this guy, because you don't know exactly where he is. Okay, so it goes 2 o'clock, and it goes 2 meters this way, and it explodes in a 5-meter radius. So roll damage for me.
Give me a righteous fury.
It's not a righteous fury. Okay, pen 3. Okay, so yet again another like smaller explosion that hits, mostly destroyed area, like shatters, and there's a popping sound. Some of the building collapses, and you're pretty sure you see a body fall away, followed by the sound. So you think you killed him now?
Good job, Boomer.
Hell yeah!
He does a really good impression of that Wilhelm scream. He's actually not dead.
The body was just a dummy.
Yeah, all of the Hegemony guardsmen are trained to Wilhelm scream.
And yeah, we move on into the rubble.
Alright, lead the way. Do you guys want to try and patch up the wounded,
I
like
was just going to
yourself?
say that.
Yeah, because 2 of you bit it in the shoulder, literally. Well, 1 of you hit it in the arm, well, the chest. So.
I'm going to take as many pain medications. No one else needs them.
Well, there is actually a pain suppressant, I think, that comes in your medical kit. Let me look up drugs. Run, low sticks, recall, spook. No, I don't think there is actually. Stim, trank. Yeah, there's just pain suppressants. Yeah, so you can inject yourself and Sentinel with it if you want.
Yes, I will do both of those things.
Okay. You want to perform a quick Medicae on yourself?
Yeah, may as
Or
well.
on Sentinel? Alright.
Sentinel needs basically treatment.
I know what he needs, but I'm just saying for ORP terms to wrap his bandages and shit,
Yeah, I'll do those things.
There's also a completely bombed out building in front of you that you haven't cleared yet, so there could be men in it and you have no idea. And they would have heard you fire in the mortar.
So, should I work on Sentinel first or myself?
Your choice.
Your choice, yeah.
I mean,
Sentinel is just an ORP thing, really, so you can just say you bandage his wounds.
oh, right, okay, yeah, bandage his wounds then.
He's still wounded, though, but yeah, there you go. So you want to medicate yourself, yeah? Okay, well, it's a different condition in the middle of combat, so... Okay, so... let me see. So healing a non-critical injury in the field is just base. There's no bonuses or anything, except like med packs and stuff.
So am I going plus 20 to it for my med pack?
Yep. And Angel helps bandage you and Sentinel up. So you heal equal to your intelligence, I think, right?
4. Ooh. Does Fat need some healing, or is he alright? Because he got a little shot.
I mean, I'm bleeding. It doesn't really hurt.
You heal an amount of damage equal to your intelligence bonus plus 1 additional point of damage per degree of success.
Oh, an extra 3.
Yep.
Is it extra degree beyond the first, or
No, it's
degree?
just extra degrees of success.
Then it's 4 because the 0 degree
Yeah.
of success counts as 1
Exactly.
in this game.
Yay, back to full.